Hello, this is about 26 hours before the launch of Season 22 on the Americas. I was going to be doing some non-season Uliana pushing on my Twitch stream right now, but I was just, walking around in adventure mode and got DC'd and lost that character today. So that'll be one of the things I'm doing this season is, I guess, refarming that Uliana's gear, even though I'm not planning on pushing Uliana's in Season 22. I will be looking for that gear because that was some really good stuff and I want it back. But what I thought I'd do today, since I'm not going to be doing that during this time, is make a YouTube video on just some power leveling builds that you can have ready by day 2 of the season, assuming that you play a little bit, like a decent amount. So here's a few builds. I'm going to have at least one of them by Saturday at around 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 Eastern is when I'm going to be doing at least an hour of power leveling on stream. So the goal here is to be able to kill everything in T6 in one shot, to be able to level as fast as possible while having the most XP gear, and if you want to put on like Cains or Sages, that can help you out. Boon of the Hoarder can help you out. Largely though, T6 just gives too little rewards compared to the very possible T16 that you should be able to do, that this is mostly just min-maxing leveling the other people, but I might as well try and get the most out of it while I do that. So the first thing I thought I'd start with is just a Justice build, since Justice is the free set. And I did some craftables with it. Now, it might be really difficult for me to actually get an Avarice Band and a Ring of Royal Grandeur. The Avarice Band is nice, but not necessary for this task. The Ring of Royal Grandeur is. There's only 5 items in the Act 1 caches, so if you're doing T16 or even just T13, you'll get 2 of those items, and so after 5 runs theoretically you should have gotten it twice, so it's not that hard to get, but if you're really unlucky it could take dozens, which would suck. But anyway, definitely want Ring of Royal Grandeur, because even just the normal GR farm build, you use that with Captain Crimson's. But anyway, Ring of Royal Grandeur, Nems. I'm not using Caesars because I found out that you can drop either Balance or Caesars. But Balance, I did feel if I dropped that and kept Caesars, I was killing a little bit slowly. And I think even though this is a lower multiplier, that extra crit chance really helps finish off the elites. Because you always, with either version, you'd be killing the trash really quickly. But after the trash is dead, then suddenly 100% crit chance, which would put me at like tripling my amount of times I'm doing my crit damage. So basically triple damage to those elites for the end. So this looks like the smaller multiplier if you chose one or the other, but it's actually quite noticeable. So anyway, we kept the 4-piece, so we get our spirit back. So spirit management is a non-issue. I crafted some Borns and some Cains, which this gives cooldown and XP. Cains gives extra keys, a little bit of attack speed, which is damage, but not too much, and XP. I'm going with the Ruby and the Helm. Some of this gear, like these gloves are really nicely rolled. That's because they were what I used last time I played this character. But all of the new stuff, I didn't roll at all. So like this Born weapon that I crafted, these Cain's boots, I didn't roll this stuff at all. I did actually craft some ancient stuff on the first try, so I crafted again because I'm like, that's not fair. So we got a lot of bad gear and a few good pieces of gear. Like this is a really good piece of gear, but most of it's bad. Went with level 25 Bane of the Powerful, level 35 Gizzard because I didn't have a 25, and I just went with a 50 Hoarder because I think that was the only one of those I had as well. And so this is all stuff that you could really easily have early on the season. You'd go a little slower if you don't have Warzekian. Hopefully you have an Obsidian Ring. That's really nice to have for Epiphany's sake. But basically we walk over, we pick up some gold, and now we have perma Wildebeest Gizzard shields because we have like infinite toughness, and that means we have infinite squirts time. So this is without a 6-piece bonus. This is just balance basically and Wan Kim Lao. Those 2 multipliers are enough to kill things this fast. I see I missed one of the elites at the beginning. Oh well. So you move pretty fast and you mow through everything, and you could do a power level pretty quickly because with all this XP gear I have on, it should probably take like 1 really extended rift or 2 just kind of to the Rift Guardian rifts to power level anybody. So it's not going to be as fast as something like a multi-shot, God, or Wave of Light where you clear the whole screen at a time, but you move at a decent pace. With the obsidian going off all the time, I can dash pretty frequently, although right now there's just been a steady stream of monsters, so I haven't really been dashing that much. It'll come into play a lot more on like a Shrouded Moor. But that's kind of what we're going for, I believe. Let's check out the passives whenever I can. So we got Beacon of Vitar, that's really important. Cheat Death, just if you're on hardcore, which this is about power leveling, so likely on hardcore. I didn't really need any more damage, so I just threw on Fleet-Footed here and couldn't think of anything else utility-wise. So let's get that gold going again, and we're good. I believe yep, 50% damage reduction. So we have the damage reduction part of the set, even if we don't have the damage. So between that and just having a decent amount of main stat, survivability is not an issue on T6. Speaking of main stat, Paragon, I plugged in 100 on each of these tabs. So 100 there, utility and utility, 100 there, cooldown and crit damage, 100 there, all res and life, armor would also work, and 100 here, RCR and pickup radius. Don't need RCR, but I also don't need those other things in that tab. So pretty soon this run will be done, and then I'll go on to the next idea I had, which is LoD Wave of Light, really early season. So LoD Wave of Light is like my favorite rift farming build in the game, so it only makes sense to be able to power level on it. But as far as T16 version, even if you have the gem leveled all the way, the LoD gem, it's pretty weak normally. Rabid Strike makes it more viable, like 1,000 Paragon or so, but usually you have to get pretty hefty main stat before LoD Wave of Light works. But this is only T6, so... Alright, this is the gear I threw on for LoD Wave of Light. You see a lot of set pieces. That's because I just wanted to pick stuff that doesn't provide any bonus whatsoever, so you literally could put any legendary in these slots. Ideally, you would have much different items. You would have Mage Fist or Saint Archers or something. You would have Cinder Coat. You could have Hexing Pants, but like Swamplands is most ideal. You could have Crudest Boots. Lots of better items than these items. Tsogrins, for instance, but I don't want to prioritize gambling or upgrading Spirit Stones right away when I am going to have the free Justice set. So between like the going for the Incense Torch and Balance, all the fist weapons, maybe you don't get that. So this is a test without it. I've got a level 25 Legacy of Dreams. It swapped the Wildebeest Gizzard. I should have just put that one on other characters, and we're still using the low level boon or the regular level boon of the Hoarder. Passives, all the same. I don't know if I really thought about that one too much. But basically, same concept. The Wildebeest keeps squirts up, even if it's only a rank 25 Wildebeest. So this is all stuff you can do within a handful of rifts at the beginning of the season. I do have an Ingeom. I don't think I would like this so much without Ingeom, but it's really great with it, and it's definitely possible without it. And Kairoshiro or Rabid Strike both would work about as effectively. Rabid Strike definitely clears a little bit more area, but this is with a level 25 Legacy of Dreams. And remember, we're less than 6k dex. We're very weak. So everything dies super duper fast. So a rank 25 Legacy of Dreams is a quarter as strong as a max level one. So you basically got a quarter of a 6-piece set, and 6-piece sets normally can do T16, so this probably can do T10 plus, and we're here in T6. So after I threw this stuff on and tried it, I was like, okay, there's no way I'm doing Justice power leveling, but if you want to, you can, because this is just so much better for screen clear. So this is one option. By the way, I think I was at about 111%, or as it says in the sheet here, 11.1% between all those set bonuses. Here I throw on Hellfire Ring, Cube Obsidian, which you can actually throw Hellfire Ring onto the other, but now we're at 86 or 8.6% after they cut in 10 bonus XP. So it's not that much less than the other build had, though with the full cube, or the extra cube slot, you can actually put the Hellfire on that other build I was just running and cube one of those 2 rings I was wearing, or whatever was cubed. But yeah, this is still like almost 100% worth of bonus XP items or whatnots between the Ruby and the Hellfire ring without using sets. This would not give the bonus keys though, so no chance for 2. I'm just picking up stuff out of habit. So then the last one that I'm going to try is a Sunwuko Wave of Light. Just in case you happen to find some Sunwuko pieces, the Justice pieces come for free, but you might find Sunwuko pieces, and then you can keep doing the sets. So this is what I did if I'm going to Sunwuko power level. I will use the 6 piece. I will not have squirts, but if you were thinking about it, that was about 100% damage per item, so 13 items is 1300% damage. This is 1500 per sweeping wind stack. So at 1 sweeping wind stack, I'm stronger than I was with the LoD gem, but the LoD gem got doubled by squirts. So at 3, I'm definitely stronger than I just was, just based on those factors of the LoD gem multiplier versus Sunwuko 6-piece multiplier. So stronger in that fashion. We have all these sets back in, so a little bit more cooldown for free, more XP, and again, I have Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube. Like, all 3 of these rings super important, but you could add Hellfire with that 4th cube slot if you want. You could also swap out the Born stuff for Rabid Strike if you wanted to clear faster and forego that XP. But this was just, I basically took the idea of the Tempest Rush multi-sets and got as much of that into the Sunwuko as I could. Actually, I'm not using the Borns now that I think about it, because I couldn't fit Sunwuko and 2-piece Cains and Borns. Shoulders, torso, yeah, that's not going to work. So this is just kind of a dead slot. If you had anything that actually gave you a legendary power, you'd do better than this. But this is what Sunwuko, Cain's, no Borns, power leveling would be like. So as long as you got that Ingeom, pretty nice to get to. In fact, I might prioritize Ingeom before I would prioritize Sokrin's Gaze. Just because I know that on Saturday I'm going to be power leveling, but I don't know when I'm going to be doing T16 farming with Wave of Light, which would be the only time that I would actually need the Sokrins. Speaking of that, so that thing makes it so that you can cast Wave of Lights across the screen, which is generally like, sounds like such a cool thing, and it seems so lame when you can't. But you actually get more mobility when you can't, because you can Epiphany teleport. So I could be all out of dashes, or especially if I don't have Ingeom yet. But then I'm just going to right-click on this enemy. Just right-click. Okay, there was one. You Epiphany teleport across the screen. So that was one benefit back when people played this with Sage Helm instead of Sokrins, was you got the double or the extra DB back then, and you also got to teleport around with your Wave of Lights, which was kind of cool. So yeah, this is Sunwuko. Very, very, very T6 viable with basically no main stats. Basically nothing. All you need to do is find 5 pieces. You can convert them to be these pieces. Let's look at our rolls. Nothing useful. It's got 6% cooldown. That's neat. Very bad. Bad. Very bad. So yeah, very bad gear. Except, oh no. Wait. Okay, I thought I had an ancient weapon, but maybe that was the Wong Kim Lao. Got a little latency. This is on EU, by the way. Like, I don't have a 2000 Paragon account that's like an alt account on NA or anything. This is just, I jumped over to EU for this. What? Oh, I guess you do have a chance to get 2 keys on T6. So, yeah, sometimes with Cain you could get 3 keys. And there we go. Power leveling strats.